Alright, sorry for being a little bit late, everyone. I've been streaming on Twitch lately, so I messed up starting it. Well, in any case, we can get right into the events. Welcome, everyone. This is the first round of the 2022 Yu-Gi-Oh! Hat Format Championships. This event is an invitational where players from around the year who have won an event or have topped significantly will be participating for a substantial cash prize. But before we get into our matches, I want to properly explain what hat format is. Hat format is the April 2014 format of Yu-Gi-Oh! This format came out after the Infamous Dragon Ruler format and the less remembered Fire Water format. But it came out before the release of Duelist Alliance, featuring Shadal's and Burning Abyss. This format was named after the deck Hand Artifact Trap Tricks, which, while not being the best deck in the format, is extremely notable for being such an innovative deck and is a perfect encapsulation of what makes the format special. Hat format is a very trap-heavy format. It is one of the last formats this would be the case, at least until Paleozoics and Eldritch would dominate for a few formats. In this format, blowout traps like Torrential Tribute, Solemn Warning, and Bottomless Trap Hole are limited due to how much pressure they can put on an opponent. Since a lot of decks this format depend on normal summon, this is very strong. This format also features the release of the Artifact Engine, providing a little bit of a negative incentive for an opponent's removal, as well as some more powerful traps this format. The Artifact Engine also provides access to the surprisingly powerful lineup of rank 5s. That brings us to the extra deck this format. The extra deck is extremely toolbox heavy in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Most extra deck spaces are filled by engine pieces, but in hat format most spaces are filled by monsters that provide answers to every particular situation and matchup. Powerful options such as the comeback board wipe Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, the removal god Silent Honor Arc, and the currently banned for good reason Lavaval Chain. There are very few relevant quick effect disruptions on extra deck cards, at least not anything super generic. A card like Constellar Pleiades is an amazing option because most decks don't really have an easily comparable option in this format. Synchro Monsters are still ran, but most relevant archetypes just prefer to ignore the hassle of tuner monsters. In this tournament, if we run into Lightsworns or some niche builds of Mermels, we are basically guaranteed to see Synchro Monsters. Here's a breakdown of the game's meta. First thing you'll probably notice is that Artifact Trap Trick have a ton of variants, being one of the best engines in the game. Interesting note here on the subject of Hat not being the best version of Hat. It's a very interesting realization people came toward, more so towards the later end of the Hat format, and even later on once this format came back as a popular legacy format. Most formats and games are not solved. Other older popular formats like Goat and Edison have new decks being found and proven to be viable all the time. My personal theory as to why this happens is a combination of the difficulty of testing many different decks and strategies during older formats, and the hype that surrounds most popular strategies. Now, back to some of the other meta decks this format. There are a lot of them. We have Yugioh, Mythic Rulers, and Madolches as our middle ground, mostly control decks with combo options. We have Mermel, Sylvans, and Archfiends as our strong combo options this format. Lastly, we have Spellbook, Bujins, and Evil Swarms as our stun and floodgate decks. There are of course a wide variety of other decks and strategies available. These are just the most popular. To break down a bit what we'll likely see in this event, I have some sample deck lists for the most popular competitive decks this format. First off, we have Cat, featuring the Hand Engine, replaced by Card D, basically changing out the niche removal of hands for the draw power of Card D. This deck features consistent access to powerful traps, thanks to Trap Tricks Mermel, and the full package of artifacts for removal, even including Beagle Tech for easy rank 5 plays after 1 or 2 resolutions of an artifact ignition or a set artifact. In this list, we see the main trend in this format of having Upstart Goblin at 3, basically letting players run 37 card decks. Also, it should be noted for new players that Pot of Duality is a very uncommon choice in most decks because using a turn the normal summon into setup is very common, since there's way less of a chance your opponent will be able to OTK you. Our next popular list is Yugioh. This deck takes 1 or 2 turns delaying the opponent with cards like Fiendish Chain and setting up value with Yugioh armor. Then, once it's ready to go, it'll blast the opponent with a barrage of Geargant X and Yugioh Gears for OTKs and access to every variety of rank 4 spam. For you players looking to get in the hat format casually, I recommend picking up this deck as it's both very fun and very cheap. Perhaps the biggest issue with Yugioh is their potential to brick. Most builds throw in some sort of outside engine like Karakuri, or hands to mess with the odds to varying levels of success. Here we have Mermels, which I have been told is the most popular choice for a deck in this event by the organizers. It's not hard to see why. Mermels are one of the most explosive combo decks, being able to easily spam the board out with monsters to such an extent to sometimes immediately win the game in some cases. While this deck is certainly not invincible thanks to the power of the side deck, Mermels put a lot of pressure on an opponent to play perfectly to shut down their plays, which can often play through more than one disruption. It's an unfortunate skill check I have failed in tournament multiple times, mostly because I can't read. I am personally blaming every Mermel player for why I'm not playing in this event. A very common play in Mermels is to use Jinx Undying to dump a Mermel card for both effect fodder and truly amazing setup. Don't forget to check out my website if you want a more in-depth guide to the format, as well as deck lists and helpful links. If you want to play in future events, check out the Hat Format Discord. Both of these resources are linked in the description below. If not, chat, you can go ahead and spam the link. A bit of heads up, I will be commentating on matches as they happen, or I'm able to get them. It is live, and the matches have a time frame where they can be played to account for the massive time zone differences of the players. We'll see how long this goes. There'll be multiple streams to follow subsequent rounds up to the finals. We still have 4 minutes until the start of the event, so I'm going to go ahead and look at some cool rogue decks that are very popular this format. So my personal favorite rogue deck this format is Bujin. It is a stun stall deck revolving around using the Bujin engine for protections, and then abusing floodgates like Kaiser Coliseum and Vanity's Emptiness to completely lock out an opponent. This deck does have a lot of problems. It needs to go first to stop your opponent's setup. But making unbreakable boards is hilarious. Like, this deck also has access to Bujin Carnation, which the deck opts to run instead of Soul Charge. This Bujin Carnation lets the deck reset on resources and get ready to go into any Beast Warrior type rank 4. Of course, this deck does need to go first, but what can you do? Second pick for a really fun rogue deck this format is Evil Swarm. Evil Swarm do one thing, and that is make Ophion. Ophion has a static effect of just flat out preventing any level 5 monsters from being summoned. He also searches out protection for himself. As such, Evil Swarm kind of just turbo him out as often as they can. It's not to say Evil Swarm can't make other rank 4s, but man, Ophion is a nuts card. The reason Evil Swarm aren't popular is because it really depends on matchups how much success the deck is going to see. If you run into like artifacts all the time, sure you'll be able to shut them down pretty hard. Or let's say Mermels. But if you get something that doesn't need level 5s like Yugioh's, it can be a bit of a challenge. Lastly, we have Noble Knights. This deck is awful, but it has a really funny goal of spamming 3 Eclipse to a monster and making it a Pseudo Towers monster. The big problem with this deck, this format, is this is before the release of the Noble Knight box set, which released with Merlin, and a spell to revive its guys. So all it has to do is it has to draw into Rhoda to get to Madral, and if they cannot resolve Madral, the deck is likely to lose. But if it resolves Madral, it goes for an insane +4 combo. This deck loses to most side deck options, but again, it's broken when it works. 50% of the time, it works all the time. Alright, without further ado, we're getting ready to start the first round. And let's see who we have matched up first. Alright, we're still waiting for the results to be posted. Right. I just blew through my filler. Alright, well. So some interesting things I've been told about this format so far. I'm told about this particular event. Is expect... So most players are playing decks that have previously topped in events this format. You know, Yugiohs, Cat, Mermels. But a lot of I am not playing in the event. I would love to play in this event, but I did not qualify because I am really bad at rulings. True story. You can ask anyone in the Discord. I am bad with rulings. But if I did play, I would probably be playing Bujins. We might see a Bujin player. I have heard there is one there. But we will see what happens. There's tons of cool spice that's going to be showing up. I'll try to see if we can start a game with one of these players. Maybe we can watch an Infernity Combo Fest. Satellite. Yeah, I know what's being played mostly too, but I'm not going to spoil it directly. I'm really excited. And who's going first? Okay. All right. We will... All right, we'll be right back. We'll be right back once the event starts. Probably in about a minute or so. All right. Alright. It'll be another minute before the event starts. So, I think we should spend some time looking at some more deck lists that are very popular in this format on my website, which I will be plugging right now. So, how to form. There are a few top decks I haven't gotten to cover because I wasn't sure how much time I'd have available in the intro. Infernity are one of the coolest decks I didn't get to cover. Infernity are the Wombo combo deck. Unfortunately, having a lot of their key pieces, actually probably more so fortunately, having some of their key pieces limited. They are very vulnerable to the side deck and options such as DD Crow. They are one of the hardest decks to explain due to how much variety their combos can have. Now, when they go full combo, they make easily some of the most powerful, 3-5 negate inboards. They are the deck that most abuses Lavavel Chain this format. Now, this deck is probably one of the hardest to play this format, and depending on what's popular being played, this deck will do either better or worse. Right now, since there's so much side deck hate against Mermels, Infernity do get hit by that, meaning this deck is not as popular as it first would seem. Now, let's go into the list of decks and talk about some of our other options. Sylvans. I hope we see Sylvans. I'm not too sure about it though. Sylvans are, in my opinion, better than Mermels, but they have an issue when you play them on Dueling Book of just being awful to control. If you know Master Duel where it takes 4 to 5 clicks to do something that should take 1, Sylvans are very much like that. Sylvans are all about stacking the top deck to get value and extend combos. They are a very common play for them is a set Curry Bandit, Excavate, and Mill 4. Add either Soul Charge or Silver Charity to hand. This is the deck that did the most to get Soul Charge banned. They are a problem. They are broken. Absolutely nuts. And it can also do stuff like get to Vanity's Emptiness the most easily with cards like Sylvan Hermitry and Archfiend's Oath. This deck also gets hit by the anti-graveyard side deck, Maxi, stuff like that. It's very solid. It takes a very skilled player to pilot. Spellbooks. Spellbooks are like the anti-fun Floodgate deck. Every Spellbook player I've seen in an event runs like Macrocosmos, D. Fisher. I've seen quite a few Kaiser Coliseums. The deck is still really fun to play, though. Spellbook of Judgment is banned, but Spellbook of Fate and a lot of the other powerful cards this deck makes are not. This is also one of the only formats where we get to see a lot of Spellbook monsters being played. Typically, the deck kind of just gets reduced down to an engine with Blue Boy and maybe a High Priestess. But this engine, it's full steam ahead with the entire strategy. Spellbooks are probably the best deck at grinding I have seen in this event. Lightsworns. I believe we do have a Lightsworn player somewhere, hopefully. Lightsworns have a ton of variants. The most classic one is you play them with Dragon Rulers to set up for dragon combos, use Eclipse Wyvern to search out JD, and go ham and kill the opponent. If as it has always been, if Lightsworns get lucky, they can immediately win every game, but if they don't, the deck can struggle a lot. A good deck list will get rid of most of the luck elements, but they're still there. Here's a secondary variant that combines it with Chaos pieces such as the two Wyvern Buster monsters, which are both at 3 this format. And cards like Armageddon Knight and Destiny Hero Malicious for really good access to Synchro Monsters. Typically, Synchro Monsters this format are not too good. They'll go into Spark Dragon and Stardust Dragon over and over again. If they want to be aggressive, they'll do something like Mikhail, Beals, or Crimson Blader. There's Bujins again. Evil Swarm. Dark World is a valid deck this format. They are very wombo combo, and they have to get lucky enough to see enough gas. They also struggle against side decking like all the graveyard decks do this format. You know, Mermel, Sylvans. You get DD Crowed, what do, right? But Dark Worlds have a bit more of a sleeper feel because they're a bit more inconsistent. What puts them above, the trade-off to being a bit less consistent is having the ability to control your opponent's hand. Now, this deck is vulnerable to spell and trap, destruction, so it's not great. They need to keep their field spell and their skill drains and all those broken cards up. Here is the most hype rogue deck this format. This is like the only time it has ever been valid, and that is Battling Boxer. They're a rank 4 toolbox deck with a tool for every situation. Of course, usually the tool is Lead Yoke because it just protects itself, and it just sits there being kind of obnoxious. So in this format, that actually brings me a good point about this format. This format is very destruction-centric. That is the most common form of removal. So a card like Battling Boxer Lead Yoke, which can protect itself from destruction multiple times, is a surprisingly good option to go into. Now, the problem with Boxer is everything else. It's got very mediocre monster spam options that kind of lock you out of battle phase, forcing you to play a bit slower than you'd otherwise want to. And a lot of the Battling Boxers just have terrible effects, like straight up. I forget which one it is, but when it's attacked into, it just destroys itself. But Boxers do have decent field swarming somehow. Most commonly, they're ran with hands because they don't have better options. It is a good deck, though. Do not sleep on my boy Battling Boxers. All right, lastly, we have Constellars. Constellars are the closest approximation to Chronomalies we got. Again, Chronomalies should have been a meta deck this format, but Konami delayed releasing them. Constellars do what they do, is go into some rank 5s. Now, Constellars are most commonly paired with artifacts, because Constellars go into rank, they become rank 5 after they're normal summoned. Grass version of Battling Boxers is just talk water only talk because no one knows what they do. Yeah, that is fair. If you don't have like an option built in for Battling Boxers, you don't really know what you're gonna do. Again, they are destruction proof. You gotta have another option to out them, or you just get beamed. Constellars do have tons of graveyard recursion, so it makes them surprisingly decent. But they are a lot more bricky than other decks this format. Alright. The bracket is still not up. So let's go and check out. Let's do a discussion of staples this format. So the 3 most popular cards this format are Mystical Space Typhoon, Upstart Goblin, and Soul Charge. Upstart Goblin for being able to run 37 card decks. Soul Charge for being Soul Charge. Revive 5 casually from the graveyard, win the game. You know how it is. And Mystical Space Typhoon. Being able to go 1 for 1 for back row in a back row heavy format is nuts. Almost every deck runs Mystical Space Typhoon or some replacement for the deck. Now some common engines. Fire and Ice hands. Hands are not as good as they should be. And that is because of the way timing resolves on these cards. See, we're going to go... Give me full... So when this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can target one spell or trap card they control, destroy that target, then you could special summon one fire hand from your deck. So what this means is a very specific lineup of... A line of play has to happen for hands to work. The destruction has to go through for the special summon to happen. And the target has to go through so the destruction can go through. Meaning, let's say a card... If they got destroyed by battle, for a spellbook monster that was equipped with Spellbook of Power, it would cause the hands to whiff their effects. This happens a lot. Hands do not resolve most of the time if the player knows what they're doing. Of course, a skilled player will set up for a situation for hands to be usable. And if a player isn't playing around them, hands are nuts. We of course have the Trap Tricks engine being able to set like Bottomless from deck, and then Trap Tricks Dionella for being able to bring back Mermel for an easy rank 4. We have Artifact Sanctum and Artifact Morale Tech. Now, side deck options and staple traps. I predict we will be seeing Max C and DD Crow being sided at basically 3 each. Could be wrong, but this is what I believe. Not too sure whether we'll see Nobleland of Crossout. It's really mostly used against Yugioh, but it is a really good option. Of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of the big, the big 3 traps this format are Solemn Warning, Compulsory Evacuation Device, and Bottomless Trap Hole. All limited, and Torrential Tribute, big 4. All limited for very good reason. Okay, the event should be starting soon. Now these monsters right here are the big rank 4s. Each one provides a specific option to out, or to help solve problems. Executor Knight is a board wipe. Gaga Cowboy is extra damage, winning in time, which luckily is not a thing during this format. I despise new time rules. Lavalval Chain, which is graveyard setup and sometimes deck stacking. It's almost always used for the first effect in this format, but Gorgon for anti-targeting. Black Ship of Corn for monster removal with burn. Actually, what makes this card good is it doesn't destroy, it sends. If I remember correctly. Yeah, it sends to the graveyard, not destroys. Very key. Or different. Silent Honor is the best removal card in the game. Battling Boxer Lead Yoke does nothing against the Silent Honor Arc. This card eats a card, then gets protection. I wish this card was still relevant in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's just Modern Yu-Gi-Oh is too fast. Rhapsody in Berserk is an attack gain for another monster, so you can help beat over options that need to die to violence. Giant Hand is a monster negate. Giant Hand's weird. It seems a lot better than it actually is in this format. This card comes up and is basically the only generic disruption rank 4. Most decks will have an option to play around this really well, which is why it's not super good. Steel Swarm Roach is an anti-level 5 card. Just a, miniature version of Ophion. Nagastor Emerald is the recursion option. Love this card. Absolutely nuts. Nullstroke is a bit of OTK pressure. Oh. Sorry, it is a flip the face down. Wrong gen. Confused from the tier list. Alright. And the event is starting. We are going to start it off with Plant. versus extra, I believe. Let's go ahead and see what we get. I'm gonna refresh here real quick. Right in the dueling book. Doing some watching. Let's see what we got for round one. You know, let me pull up the bracket, actually. So, some big matchups for this round one. Going to be Ultra Plant versus Extra Power. These are two of the biggest players who top. So they're very, very good. Blab, I'm excited for. He wins a lot against me in events. Oh, they're not dueling. Just typing it up. All right. We will see who duels first. Guys, I'm trying. You guys delayed me in 20 minutes from when the event was supposed to start, so I'm having to stall. Alright. Also excited for my Fire Fist boy. Don't think he's actually... Oh no, Poison got the bye. Oh no. Alright. We will see who plays first. Back to this. I am sorry, guys. I'm actually very sorry about having to delay the event a bit. Back to this. Yugioh is the anti-attack gain. If the deck plays Tenki, Yugioh stops it. Abyss Dweller is the anti-graveyard card. Absolutely nuts. Everyone knows about, tier format today. Abyss Dweller is still really good. Never stopped being good. Alright. Rank 5s are very powerful. Every one of them is nuts. The best anti-destruction card. Better version of Black Ship of Corn. Wind Up Arsenals in Mayo. Just, better Alucard. Hit 2. And Constellar Pleiades being compulsory evacuation device on legs that can do it more than once. Absolutely nuts. What also makes rank 5s really powerful this format? Oh, and Durandal. It's just an Omni Negate that sets up your artifact cards. And gets you a new hand if you want that too. Is you can go into cards like Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. So if your guy did get negated, boop, slap a Gaia. You're going right into the OTK anyway. Also, if you're playing Constellar Pleiades, you could also then slap a Plotomi on him for amazing recursion. Or removal. You have the options. Rank 7s are also nuts. Of course, Big Eye being one of my favorite cards in the game, being able to steal a monster. Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack, which is just 2 free protection tokens that then also has destruction and removal options. Insanely good. Rank 3s are not as good, but they're still available. Alucard's not on this list. I'll have to add that later. Alright. Synchro options. Black Rose for removal. Scrap. This is the most, unfortunately, in-depth review of a format I've ever seen. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. Scrap Dragon. You can target one card you control, one card your opponent controls, destroy them. So, this is just 1-for-1 removal. Bit of a review about the funny state of Synchro Monsters in this event. Or in this format. They're not great. You have Leo, who gives himself, targeting protection until main phase 2, which is surprisingly hard to deal with this format. Star Eater is just unaffected by effects until the end of battle phase. This is also, like, usually one of your best options for Synchro Monsters. Oh, Nope versus Tiger, we have a game. Let's see what we got. Actual game. Nope. Sorry, guys. I am... Well, this stream might have been a bit of a questionable idea. Sorry, guys. Should have just maybe reviewed matches in post. That might have been a better way to go about this. Oh, and if you want to see gameplay more frequently, you can check out my secondary channel where I do post occasional gameplay from tournaments from me playing. Typically, it is just me playing a bad deck and being bad. We could react to my gameplay. Oh, I have an actually good idea. We could react to some previous topping duels from previous events this year. So let's go into tourney replays. I believe 2 players are about to start in a duel. Here we are. Okay. Round 1. BM Dubs versus Poison Hat. Seeing Pod Duality into... He's probably going to go for the double Cyclone to set up his artifact plays. That is the most common use of this card, so we can tell he is playing Cyber Dragon Artifacts. So, the way this deck works is there is a really funny trap that sets you up for a free rank 5. I'll have to pull up the name, or we'll wait till we'll see it to see what happens. Let's see how our player is going to break. Oh, this is just an exhibition, not... Dang, I was getting really hyped for Cyber Dragon Artifact. And Molten Conduction Field. Lavavels versus Cyber Dragons. Of course, we're going to do the Lavavel Send 4 to the grave. He's opened the best possible card you can in Lavavel. The only way he can make this hand more insane is with a Rekindling. Of course, Rekindling into a set 4 back row is very risky. I believe that is what BM Dubs is thinking about. Yep, he's just going to set 1 and have to stall. I do not believe... Auto-fact ignition on the end phase, getting rid of that torrential. Might have been his best option to save this board. There it is. There is the funny trap I was talking about. Excuse me. If a Cyber Dragon is on the field, you can banish 1 light machine monster from your field to the grave. Special summon as many of your banished light machine monsters as possible. And if you do, destroy all spells and traps you control. So what this does, gives you every time you use this card, it's going to get more and more value. So you're going to be swarming the field with Cyber Dragon monsters, but popping all your spell and traps sets up your artifact cards. So Cyber Network should be an awful card, but it's actually insane. So we have put BM Dubs on a ticking clock here. He has to figure out some way to out this board, which I don't think he's going to. We're seeing the full shebang here. Ooh, is it the artifact ignition secondary effect? That might have bought him a turn. Although I don't know what good it's going to do when there are about to be 2 rank 5s and then some more on the field. Constellar Pleiades, of course. Double Constellar Pleiades. So remember what I said about this card being nuts? Yeah, this is how good it is. I do not believe... Immediate scoop. Blade is probably the best rank 5 in the game. And me and Dub's hitting him with the stop bullying me. I'm playing Lavavels. Oh, it's amazing. Cyber artifacts are one of the so remember when I was talking about decks, you know, being discovered all the time? Cyber artifacts are one of those decks that got discovered. Of course, in a format with such powerful rank 5 cyber dragons, or powerful rank 5s, cyber dragons are of course nuts. Let's see how BM Dubs does it getting the first turn for setup. Remember, in this format, you do draw going first. Still an amazing opener. Let's see if you can do this into a rekindling. Oh, love this. Curry Bandit. All right, he's going to dig for that rekindling. Thank you, Matthew. I always appreciate when someone likes my videos. Well, that sounded awkward. But, like, seriously, though, I'm always surprised when people say they like my videos. Some of them I get, but some of them... Ooh. Cyber Dragon Dre, let's see what set back row he has, because that's going to determine whether or not he can really force out the game. Okay. I can answer BM Dub's question here. Lavavels were in fact not good IRL. Rekindling was, but Rekindling was good in another deck. They really just... Okay. And he was seeing the Drag Ruler. So I believe most of the Dragon Rulers are at 1 this format. And they show up in a lot of decks where you might not expect them. Sylvans, for example, do run Blaster Dragon Ruler of Infernos. All the Lavavels are trying to fix their situation. I don't think they can. Unless this is a gigantic Bane bait, I believe BM Dubs has lost here. We need to see like a soul charge to come back from this. No! No! Oof. We're going to see the double Pleiades again. Oh! There we go. Luckily, we did not see a follow-up from Poison Hat. Can we see the comeback from Lavavels? I don't think we're going to see a soul charge. I wish we would, but I don't think we're going to. Rekindling! Yes! Now, I believe, does he have access to a tuner? Yes, they're all tuners. Uh-oh, that might be a different problem. Well, we get to... Oh, is there a ruling issue? Yeah, it's as many as possible. Yeah, that doesn't have 200 defense, buddy. Casual game. We'll allow it. Oh, Vovels are based, especially... Actually, they never stop being hilarious. Now, we should get to see some synchro plays here. That's a level 7 and a level... Yeah, Blaster is a level 7. So, that's going to be a Leo, I believe. Or, level 7, level 8. Level 8, so maybe Crimson Blighter or Stardust. Scrap Dragon. Alright, then. Oh, we're going to trigger the destruction effective. One of these had a destruction effect. Which one was it? Oh, yeah, it's one of the main deck ones you don't run. Oh, the immediate Dark Hole. Feels bad. Luckily for BMWs, there's not a Cyber Dragon to follow up on that. Uh-oh. That is not what you want to see. Breakthrough skill. Damn. This is getting really close. And there it is, the Artifact Ignition on in-phase, hitting bottomless. That might just keep him in this. A Cyber Dragon Dre would be absolutely devastating here. Provided it could resolve around the back row. I'm not so sure it can. What powerful traps have we seen? We've seen Torrential. One Blackhorn, so there's probably more than one. And did we just witness a Tribute Dragon, or Tribute Summon into Cyber Dragon? Dang, alright. That's what I'm talking about. Blaster right back. And this is throwing Lavavels into a definitive winning position. Pretty nuts. We're seeing the power of Dragon Rulers. Ooh, alright, another one. We're going to set up for Blaster again. Of course, he's starting to run out of good targets to dump, as we've already done the big dump for shebang. Laval's enough. Into Soul Charge. Alright. Ooh, Maxi. This is interesting. Maxi for 3. Now, in this format with so many powerful one-ofs and insane cards like Soul Charge, the Maxi Challenge is very risky. Huh. Targeting protection. Oh, we have our first game live. I am sorry, guys, but this game is hype. But we got to start the turning. And let's see. Nier versus Nico Duto. Where is it? On the card format. Why put in the card format? Okay, hold on just a second, guys, while we get this sorted out. Are they under different names? Just exit and we'll try to reload it, maybe. That might help. Probably looking in the wrong thing. Oh, I can't read either or. Oh, Spore versus Inseed. Thank you. Thank you. Where did Spore go? So as you can tell, I am blind and cannot read. Alright. And we see it is Mermels. Right off the back, we're getting into one of the most powerful combo decks this event. First game this tournament. Okay, we see the full setup play with Abyss Spike sending Abystos. Let's go ahead and check the... we don't have the access to that. I don't know what he searched, but I'm trying to remember what you add. I'm sorry, I know there's a search, but... Look, we've established this. I cannot read. Okay. MST. So it's going to be on... Oh, that's unlucky. He gets more setup. What Inseed's going to have to do here is plow through Spore enough. Okay. Someone save the Blab versus Bank 1 game. Like, someone save the other games so we can react to those while we're waiting for more games. Thank you, Poison, for grabbing a replay. So what Inseed has to do here is do enough damage to this board or set up enough disruptions to be able to play through the massive setup we see. That's why, as playing Yugioh, he's dropping the hand now, as opposed to typically a bit later, which is what you want to do with Yugioh. Oh. Yeah, we're going to... Oh, no. That might be the game. Maxi is a very insane card. Even in this format where the game is a lot slower. We're probably going to see... I don't think he commits to an OTK. I don't think he has that. But we're probably going to see him commit to a turtle. Yeah. Oh. Abyss Dweller pass? Yep. Abyss Dweller pass. Abyss Dweller might not be the answer here. Move a monster from board. Very unfortunate. Set 1 versus Mermel with a turn to set up and 6 cards in hand. I wouldn't count Yugioh out of it entirely, but it's going to be a very hard comeback here for Inspeed. Genix Undying. Very powerful normal. So, Undyne is actually the reason Mermels can play tuner monsters. The Gen X controller is actually a tuner, so it works for synchros. It's not the best, option to go into, but you have it, which is something mini decks don't. Let's see. Title is in the grave. It's a very lucky one of. And immediately go to try to beat over Abyss Dweller. Oh! That is a play. That is a very good play. It's going to stabilize the game state. I'm actually really impressed. It's going to actually give him the time he needs. Let's see what comeback he has. Judging by the fact that he didn't set a bunch, I believe most of his hand is monsters. If he has a Yugioh hands. Okay, so we're seeing the hand build of Yugiohs. There's probably another Yugioh brick monster in hand, and maybe another hand. Some combination of the two. Ayo Tobin, thanks for the $2. Tobin, you don't need to donate money. Tobin, you have covered my food. He's a personal friend. That's why this is funny to me. But classic Tobin. Oh, and we are seeing the mass suicide play by Ice Hand. Ice Hand barely getting around bottomless trap holes, 515 or more attack restriction. That is hilarious. Absolute comedy. All right. There's some lag on Dueling Book, as there usually is. And we're all going to see a bit of a board wipe. Does he commit to the Fire Hand? I'm not too sure. I don't know if he wants to let him maintain a level 7 on board. That could be problematic. Poison should have entered with Cyber Dragon Artifact, seeing all these good players. Yeah, that is a fairly good point. It's a very fun deck. And I would have loved to see more wacky stuff. But this is a, very competitive event, so we'll see. Alright. InSpeed is running out of time. He can buy himself with the Abyss Dweller. This board just has to outweight this for him to really come back here. Let's see the normal summon. And we're going to see a Leo, I believe. Poison, you brought something relatively wacky. Ooh, I'm excited. Yeah, there's the Leo. And Leo, I believe, can beat over Fire Hand without Fire Hand being active. Yeah, Maxi is very popular in the current version of hat format that's been discovered here. Which makes sense. Maxi is a very powerful card, and it does a lot to stop decks like Mermel and Yugioh to an extent. Now here's a question. Is that back row an Abyss Spear? Or actual disruption? I'm going to bet it is... I'm going to say actual disruption. It's rare with Mermels, but we'll see. Again, how's Inspeed going to break this board? Of one thick Leo. Oh, soul charge. That would solve everything. And let's see how many monsters you can go for. You can go for all 4 spots. Summoning them in the fence position because he is a good player. Now, because I believe he doesn't get a battle phase, he cannot go to main phase 2, which is going to be a little awkward to get around Leo, but I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Now, what's he going to use to try to solve this situation? Oh, we're going to beat over it. Okay. That's a move. Oh, he's going to use its second effect, which I missed because I cannot read, to banish one. Banish 2. Oh, that card is nuts. He was during the owner's main phase 2 only. That's even better. Dang. The Receipt Rhapsody is going to be able to get rid of 2 of the most powerful options, particularly Tidal, though. And after that, he'll be able to equip it, whatever he makes here, with Rhapsody and Berserk. So Leo will be way less of a problem. Okay. We're seeing a lot of contemplation here about what to go into for rank 4, which is fair, because this is a pretty tough spot to be in. Based on what we know from the Yugioh extra deck, there's not a whole lot he can make here to solve this problem. Ooh, okay, we're just going to go into Yugioh X. Makes sense. I believe Exiton would also work out this, but that's a bit of a bold move. Oh, okay. Thank you, Dueling Book, for having a stroke. Okay. Depending on what these 2 sets are, Abyss Spear. All right. So this is a very fun combo where you Abyss Spear immediately into Abyss Line to trigger the effect, to destroy her. Go into Abyss Spike for setup again. With no Abyss Dweller to stop him here, this is going to be pretty hard to deal with. Breakthrough skill. Alright, that's one starter down, but now it's his actual turn. Got a big beat stick. Alright. That's going to revive either Abyssaline or Gen X Undyne. See, this gives destruction protection, I believe. No. It just gives attack again. Alright. It's not looking great for Gears, but it all depends on what that back row is. There's a Silent Honor Arc to out the Yugioh Giant, the Yugioh Gigant X. Yep, the back row could not stop it. I'm probably going to see a bunch of anti-graveyard side decking here. And Spore is probably just going to go into the generic anti-XYZ extra deck. Maybe a Noble Mana Crossout, maybe something to stop the Yugioh armor from flipping and getting the search off. Yugioh being able to set those powerful back row options is going to be huge going into Game 2, as they do get to go first. All depends, though, on what the players feel would be the best option. We could see a Dimensional Fissure in Macrocosmos. That is an option Yugioh have been known to side deck. It would be very ballsy, but they could definitely get away with it. Perhaps even a Soul Drain. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, they are taking their time side decking. Makes sense. Alright. Let's see where this goes. Yugioh Arsenal, probably going to tribute it into Yugioh Armor for the set one. I can set up for a search. No. Alright. Makes sense. Mermel would have plenty of options to pop armor. That's why we're seeing the more aggressive plays here. Gigant X. Alright, I believe that means his hand should be pretty strong if he's going for that. Because he really probably wants to set up an Abyss Dweller. An odd call, honestly. Alright. So he's going Gear Giant X to set up, and he's going to depend on the strength of his back row. Ah! That's why he was confident enough to make that. The D-Fisher. We're going to have to see some sort of MST or spell popping for Mermels to be able to come back for that. And, ooh. This is a tough spot. The side deck coming in clutch. Matthew, I also love Vintage Lightsworn. One of my favorite decks. Well, it's not the optimal way to play it. I like playing Saxsworn, JD Turbo, in hat format, casually with friends. Because it is milling, 3 Wolf off of 1 Charger Light Brigade is always a fun experience. Makes people genuinely upset. Really. I love Lightsworns. I wish they were good. Unfortunately, Lightsworns did just lose, lost Curios in the modern game. So they are not doing too hot right now. Play Tearlaments. Better Lightsworns. Right. It was a very defensive play by Spore here. I'm going to set 2 and pass. I believe you're right. Mermel does have the Phoenix Wing and Blast to survive here. The Yugioh player got all the setup he needs to go all in here. Because he'll be able to get a free rank 4 off of the normal summon and then search another Yugioh Accelerator. So he'll have 2 Yugioh Accelerators live for another XYZ play. Which is that explosive part I was talking about with Yugiohs. Of course, we're going to have to see how he plays their own back row. There are a few back row cards that could definitely get him out of this spot. Okay, we are going to do the normal. And let's see if the summon resolves. It does. That means Spore probably has a trap that's more likely to activate at the end of a combo. Something like Torrential Tribute or Black Horn of Heaven. As opposed to something preemptive. Like Skill Drain or Breakthrough Skill. Pressure is really on. Straight to battle? That's a call. Trying to figure out what he was trying to play around there. Okay, I'm going to tribute out the Accelerator. It's going to be not Accelerator, we're going to the Arsenal. So I can get something out from deck here. Where is this going? Okay, Inspeed is just going to take his time setting up the Yugioh armor. Going to flip it face down. Going to do some discount Ghost Trick shenanigans. Interesting. Inspeed's just performing to chill out and set the tempo of the game. I think that's, in my personal opinion, I think that's a risky play against Mermels. But then again, I lose to Mermels every time I play against them, so what do I know? Alright. Looks like that was definitely the correct call. Now we're going to see InSpeed in the hot seat, as he's going to have to break the Mermel setup and InSpeed's definitely going to have to figure out how to break the Mermel board here. It's probably not going to be too impressive on the first turn, but you really do have to kick Mermel when they're down or they will overwhelm you. Alright. Well, here's a funny question. Have you ever seen anyone resolve straight flush versus hat? I have not ever seen that happen. I have seen it attempted with some Noble Knight players. Well, that's going to be my personal goal next event I play in. We're going to try to resolve straight flush. Straight flush is a card. Straight flush, Yugioh. I'm going to Google that real quick so I can get you the exact text. If your opponent controls a card in each of their spell and trap zones, destroy all cards in their spell and trap zones. This card is hilarious, but it's awful. Even with hat, they're only going to run like, or they're only going to set like 3 or 4 traps a turn. All 5 is impossible. And you're only going to resolve straight flush once. I would love for that. Opposing says he's resolved Reckon Power. Reckon Power. Oh my god. And we're seeing a pretty impressive setup turn from Mermel's over here. 3 back rows set with the Gen X and Dying Normal. That is insane. Reckon Power says reveal 1 Iron Core of the Crocky Marrow. Destroy all face down spell and traps your opponent controls. No. Oh. Comedy gold. It's a really powerful card that Quacky Mirror have. Which I believe Quacky Mirror are considered a weaker rogue deck this format. Okay, we see that Yugiohs are going into a rank 3 here. Interesting. That's likely to be an Alucard, I believe, to help deal with the back row. Hat and pre-hat formats are very cheap and very fun. I like hat format the most out of the previous formats because it's the most evolved legacy format that still has a lot of the classic, like trap, like it's a back row heavy format, which isn't something you see in other like newer formats. I also love Necroz's format, and Eternal is pretty fun. Hat has all of that archetypal based gameplay, and that is a soul charge, bruh. Speed to that is a move. And that is one of the reasons why Soul Charge is so insanely good. It's a follow-up. Back row is Yu-Gi-Oh! I agree with that somewhat. I like that newer decks are starting to push back row more. Oh. He's ready for both the Soul Charge and a normal summon. So these traps are insane. Bottomless Trap Hole and Solemn Warning. Both being able to completely shut down a play. Now, it's likely this game is going to be determined by the strength of Inspeed's back row, which is one card. Abyss Spear. We're going to do the Abyss Spear search. Oh my god, the bait! That was clean. That was a clean MST. Damn. The immediate response. Oh. Yugioh gear. Okay, it appears we are stalling. Yugioh gear is nuts. Just a free rank 4. I would have waited a bit personally, use Yugioh gear, but I am fully trusting what Inspeed is doing here. Oh wait, he used Marksman to pop it. Oh, this game is getting good. We're going straight to battle, taking it slower with Mermels. Alright, let's see what we got here. From the Yugioh player. Can we see another Soul Charge? Okay, so it's obviously a pretty powerful... normal summon has got... Second Soul Charge. I love this format. Oof. Although that brings in a secondary concern, as I believe Inspeed is running out of rank 3s that are good. I believe he should be probably running Poison Golem. Well, outside of that, I don't really know what he's going for here. Ah, here we go. Soul the Silver Mountain. Weird card. Once per turn, you can attach one XYZ material from this card to target one set card your opponent in your opponent's spell and trap zone. It cannot be activated while this card is face up on the field. If it destroys a monster by battle while it has a material, you can target one Earth monster in a graveyard, special not target in face up defense position. He's out of Zen mains. That's what I'm saying. Now, Golem of Destruction at 2,000 life points, that's a risk, I feel. I know why he has to do it. He needs to wall up and not die. But that's still a risk. He's put himself on a timer. That's the only. It's good for 2 turns. But I do think it could probably go to 3 if it, if Spore cannot find a way to break this, which he probably can. It is Mermels, they do that. It could go to 3 turns. I also like how every life point lost this game has been from players paying cost. No one's resolved an attack yet. Yeah, it is 2 turns until he loses life points. Oh, we're going to see a Synchro play. That's a level 10. It is no longer a level 10. I stand corrected. I don't think he takes the maxi challenge here. Or he does. Oh. That would do it. Simplified game state. Absolute meme. What was his back row? I'm curious. Malevolent Catastrophe? I love this card. That explains why he couldn't activate it in response. Simplified game state, putting some work there. Undying again. Does he still have targets? He does have one more Gen X controller in there. I'm going to try once again to pop that back row. He's out of targets for this card. That is all. They usually only run 4. Alright. Wow. What a good game. Saw some crazy comebacks. And let's go ahead and let me pull up the replay for the next one. Let's see, there's 10 minutes between Ultra Plant and Extra Power starts. Soul Charge is such a slam. Hey, could someone help me out by posting a replay? So I can see the games I missed that were going on at the same time. Might be a second before we can get the next game. Sorry, guys. That was a great game. We got to see some of the power and some more genuinely unique plays that Yugioh don't usually make. Just being stuck in such as being stuck in rank 3 hell. All 4 rank 3s they play in that deck list were shown. Which if we look at the example deck list, we could see that was actually all 3 rank 3s they usually play. That was impressive. And with the double soul charge. Man. Here's the replay. We'll watch this until the extra power game starts. We'll fast forward a bit. So this is a synchro build of Yugioh versus Lightsworn. Go ahead and show both hands here. Get a better picture of what's going on. And that, what a nuts opening hand from Lightsworns. That is everything they could ask for. Rhoda, Bryden, Wyvern Buster, with a Wolf and Malicious Engrave. Dang. And fast forward a bit. Oh, it does not get less disgusting with these mills. We put that Plague Spreader Engrave, and we're going to go into start a Spark Dragon. So that really is the play Lightsworns go into, which is make start a Spark Dragon and... Oh, into the Soul Charge. Starter Spark Dragon, regular Starter Dragon, to protect their back row, such as Royal Decree, which shuts down most decks this format. This is... If anyone remembers the hat video I posted way long ago, this was exactly the broken board that got me complaining so much, because it is nuts. Oh. Whoa. You see that? Making 2 level 6s to add the Chaos Sorcerer he just dumped back. That is insane. Why don't watch this game in tourney? This is amazing. And we're going to see the second rank 8. Stardust Dragon, of course. But we are not done yet. Can we see a rank 4 Giant Hand just because? Oh, we're going to set 3. And now we are going to try to get around this very... Probably, honestly, almost unbreakable board this format. Just, okay. Gen Alley Birdman bouncing back Accelerator just to summon Accelerator again. That is amazing. Of course, it is going to be Karakuri Yugiohs. Trapstone is a game ender for Gears. The immediate scoop after Royal Decree. Yeah, it would. Royal Decree is a game ender for both at and Yugiohs. It's one of the best like floodgates you can go into. Well, of course, we're seeing the rivalry, which you want to talk about floodgates? We got some floodgates. Of course. Armageddon Knight. Pretty solid opening play. Makes sense. Rivalry of the Warlords was used defensively there. Will Cree is odd for at? I don't know. When I played against it, I thought it was really good. Oh, we just see Blab has the answer for everything. Fair enough. They usually run 3 Ignition and 2 Double Cyclone. It is a call, though. Although that's what the start of Spark Dragon is for. Yugioh Accelerator. Alright. And this is what Yugiohs are good at. Going first, controlling the game, going into some powerful rank 4s to just shut down the opponent. So I will say, Bank 1 is not ready for the hand we're about to see from Lightsworns over here. Charge of the Light Brigade and the Soul Charge. Man. If he gets remotely decent mills here, it is over. Well, Rival of the Warlords. There is a lot about this game coming down to the power of one trap card. I believe BLS can out that. Charge, very fair. Okay, no Lumina. We're not playing the Spell and Trap Destroyer. Actually, now that I think about it, I believe that only works with face-down cards. Let's see. Lila does, in fact... No, Lila would pop one Spell or Trap. Surprised we're not seeing it being played. Oh, they're both warriors. Yep, there's the bounce I saw. Everyone saw coming. Ooh. Self-destruction, so you can Soul Charge or play back. It's pretty clean. The DD Crow is insane. Now let's see how this game goes a bit. Wow. Lightsworns really do be one of the best decks this format. That's insane. Gonna set up for the Raiden. And we were just setting up for the biggest Soul Charge possible. Little 10, there's a Leo. Oh my god, this hand is disgusting. We're going to see that amazing rank 6 play again. Stardust Dragon. Nuts. That's going to protect the Royal Decree. And Pleiades is going to get back whatever he milled. This could be Soul Charge. That's interesting. He's going to put it back for Plague Spreader so he can use the effect later. Alright. Slightly weaker inboard than the one he made last time, but still pretty nuts. Okay. Huh. That was an exchange. Okay. No Compulse is going to hurt here. But we've really done an amazing job of slowing down this potentially crazy inboard. Tiger versus Nope is live. Okay. Oh, let's see. Let's quickly finish this game real quick. Yep. And that is the power of Lightsworns if they get remotely lucky. They are a nuts deck that you really have to respect. There are 21 people played. Pretty hyped so far. Alright. Let's get started with Tiger versus Nope. Are they under different names, or am I just blind? Is it Air Falco versus... Oh. Oh, Extra Power versus Ultra Plant is starting. Sorry, we're watching this game. This game's nuts. This is... Look, Tiger's gonna... And their power is so big, it is glitching out Dueling Book. Huh, it's only glitching out on my end. That's interesting. Probably just lag because I'm streaming. I have no idea what they're playing. If I had to guess, Ultra Plant is probably playing Cat. And Extra Power... Probably Yugioh. Yep, there's the Cat. Ooh, good mills all around. Sanctum or Ignition? This is a matchup question. Or it does depend on what he has in his hand. Ignition is definitely the safer option against back row decks. And he also does have a direct answer for whatever normal summon Extra Power is going to throw out. Two set, one normal. We likely know what both of these sets are. Alright, wow. 4 back row with hat. That's pretty big. Ultra Plant is probably playing the Cat variant, although it'll be hard to tell until we see either a hand or a card D. Okay. Upstart Goblin. Boosions! Yeah! That is definitely an opening play for Boosions. Clearly Extra Power has not seen the Yamato, or would have seen that normal summoned. I don't think this is the worst matchup ever. I think this is a pretty even matchup. Going second's going to be hard for Ultra Plant, but not the end of the world. I'm so glad we did actually get to see a Bujin game. You saw him search the Artifact Sanctum. He's probably... It would be very risky to set back row here, knowing what he has set. This is a game. This is one of the games of all time. One turtle versus the best deck in the game. Ultra Plant has all these options, but Extra still has one turtle. Let's just go to Infate. Oh my god, it was. The turtle is too powerful for this format. So the Extra Power managed to get to his Bujin, his Yamato. Nope. The entire animal kingdom coming together to call Hat not based. Turtle is bigger than any normal summon. That's the funny part. no! Rabbit friend is dead. It was a very interesting turn of events. The entire animal kingdom versus one fancy hat. Take 900 damage. Oh my god. Oh man. On one hand, I really want Turtle Beatdown to win, but that does not seem like it'll be entertaining. Great. We'll need to either see a rank 4 from Ultra Plant, which you could get to if you can revive Mermel. Or he'll need to access the artifact engine. Card D. Oh no. That is... Alright. So it is cat. It is definitely cat. 5 back row against a lone turtle and a rabbit. I suppose it doesn't matter which one goes first between turtle or hare if they're both beating down your face. He's just going to face. Oh no! Oh, there's a bot in the chat. Let me deal with that real quick. I believe that got rid of them. Go ahead and report. Oh my god. Does Ultra Plant not have the out? This is the best format. Objectively the best format. Oh, sorry, BMW. There was a bot in the chat. I had to get rid of him. Like a scam bot. As much as I like the free comments, I'd rather not, you know, have that. Oh, we're going to see an attempted artifact play being made. Double Cyclone isn't live because there's no back row. Not sure what's going on with the tokens, but alright. Alright. And here's the big comeback play from Ultra Plant. Extra Power has a play to stop this. Could it be Maxi? It is! Oof. Yeah, Chain Whirlid is pretty base for a deck. That is the big thing about hat format, is you see so many unique trap techs to pop your own back row. Probably Sanctum. Compulsor is good, but Sanctum gives some board pressure. Turtle died. To be fair, Bujins lived way longer than they definitely should have with just that, 2 monsters on the field. Alright. Compulse does lose a turtle, you're right. Turtle may be dead, but his spirit lives on. And I believe Hair is living because card D stops. Yeah, it skips straight to end phase from main phase 1. Which is interesting. Extra Power can't just rely on beat sticks anymore. He has to try to progress the game state. Or he could reset the game state too. Are we going to see the Yamato? There it is. An Ultra Plant definitely has to try to get rid of this. We're going to either need a double destruction or a double target. Or it could resolve. Interesting. Bujin gameplay. Yeah, Bujins do need Yamato. It is their main play. Hair is 1 battle protection, or 1 battle or card effect destruction protection, and Turtle is a targeting protection. I do believe this is solvable by Ultra Plant, but he'll need to be careful. And Yamato is going to try to trigger. If Ultra Plant lets Yamato resolve here, this situation is going to go from bad to worse for Ultra Plant. Yeah, Hair Plus Turtle does stop most of the counterplay. It's what Bujins do, is remove counterplay from the game. Man. With 4 cards in hand, I'd be terrified to go into battle phase against Yamato. This is a very tough spot. And since extra power isn't setting any back row, a lot of the back row destruction cards we've seen so far are just not useful. We can't use double cyclone. Oh, there's the Sanctum. We're going to try to... Fair enough. I believe we're probably going to... Yeah, we're going to see the double pop. Because I remember this one is also a morale attack. Crater Odyssey is definitely in hand. I'm going to start eating through that. Start eating through those. Of course, by doing that, Bujin Carnation is now live, which should be a bigger problem. Sanctum targets? It does, but it's 1 card on the field. So you can just not target Yamato. Interesting. This rank 5 here is going to be huge. See, if he made Pleiades and just tried to bounce it twice, that could be funny. Let's get rid of 1 more destruction or 1 more targeting. This is a really scuffed match to watch. Okay, and let's see the answer we go for. Pleiades is once per turn, but isn't it a quick effect, if I remember correctly? That would do it. Let's just get new hands. Bujins are terrifying. You can't go to battle phase with them. They win. Hat format, Pro Trash, Hat format is a 2014 format of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like a Time Wizard format, and it's pre-Pendulums, but it's near the end of the XYZ era. Like, all the extra decks are very toolbox reliant. And most games are extremely back and forth. That's a really good normal summon. The best deck is, or the most famous deck from the format. Oh, random top deck in the DD Crow and the Mermel. That's pretty big. But the most famous deck from the format is Hands Artifact Trap Tricks, which use Trap Tricks to set powerful back row, Artifacts for more powerful back row, and Hands for board clearing and extra pressure. Ultra Plant is playing a variant of that deck called Cat, which replaces Hands with Card D. And Extra Power is playing a Floodgate deck called Bujins and absolutely memeing on Ultra Plant. Both Extra Power and Ultra Plant are both really good players. This is a really funny game. Tenki. All right. That format is my favorite older format. I do like Goat a lot, but I really prefer how archetypal hat format is, as you actually get to see some cool strategies, like actual modern stuff, which isn't something you always get. No link summons. Bujins are actually more terrifying this format than they are in modern format, because there are two cards that are at 3 that are banned in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! We haven't seen them yet, but it's Vanity's Emptiness and Kaiser Coliseum. Vanity's Emptiness, turns off all special summoning. It's a very Vanity's unfair, straight up. Luckily, with this format, with how much spell trap removal, it's a bit better. Oh, this is interesting. So he has a Yamato and Kosuchi in hand? Risky XYZ play, but alright. Swasanoa. Oh, he's just getting ready to go for game, but doesn't Durandal... Does Durandal target? No, it does not target. Interesting. Durandal does have an effect change to pop a card. Hirume, okay. I switched going for the board wipe here. Although we are out of destruction protection, which is interesting. That'll be the game one for Bujins. Bujins are pretty weak going into going second, especially post side deck. Now that Ultra Plant knows what he's playing against, it's going to be very hard for Extra Power to do what he did again. Of course, for game 3, Extra Power is going to be back in the lead. Baby Raccoon is a really fun deck. I had an old friend of mine used to play Baby Raccoons. That deck is underrated. It's actually playable today if you pair it with Tri Brigade. It's not meta or anything, but it is surprisingly good now. And yeah, hat format is one of the bigger legacy formats. With the way modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is with tier limits, a lot of legacy formats have been seeing like a resurgence in success, in popularity and success. I hear even Konami is starting to be more acceptable with legacy formats. Okay, let's see what they're siding. I wish I could. I can't actually see what they're siding into. Seeing some big side decks. Let me pull up what an average Bujin list looks like so I can explain some stuff. Noble Knights. Here we are. So Bujin's goal is usually to stun out. This is my Bujin list, which is a bit different from what I know Extra Power likes to run. Typically, Bujins are all about flooding the grave with hairs, and oh, we're back to the game. But they're all about flooding the grave with protection things to make unbreakable boards, and just sitting there, stunning the opponent, getting continuous value. Very difficult. It's very difficult to deal with once they get going. Not impossible, but very hard. Trap Tricks Mermel. Alright. on just a sec. Let me scoot over. There we go. Hope that wasn't too disorienting for y'all. Is Ultra Plant going into an extra deck play turn 1? That's really odd for Cat. Game 2 could become Game 1 again. This is... Ultra Plant is playing like an anti-back row. Like, his tech choices are all really anti-back row. And Extra Power is just able to completely circumvent that by just not setting a card. Forcing this really odd spot. Of course, Ultra Plant should be ready for it now. I'm going to see the Pod Duality. Huh. Forbidden Lance here is going to give protection to whatever he tries to normal summon. Siding in Mind Crash for Crane check. That's hilarious. Is it? And it's happening again. We're just going right back. We have whiffed the Yamato summon. And we're going straight into Turtle. Are we going to see the bottom? We are going to see the attempted bottomless. This is a game. This is, in fact, the game that is happening right now. The change this time is Ultra Plant preempted the turtle with the bottomless. Light Imprisonment is pretty good against fusions. It's not an end-all be-all once they get going, but it is pretty good. Ooh, the Dumber Mellow. Alright. It's pretty good. No rank 4. Look, we saw normal summon turtle win a game, so this is already Honor Arc. Alright, that's interesting. It's got destruction protection, but that's about it. You know what would unironically ruin this format? Harpy's Feather Duster to 1. Like, the format becomes unplayable with that. Oh. Like, I'm just surprised how good the ban list is for this format. Like, so many strategies are fair. I get it, we're using the tokens to pick which spells we're destroying. That makes sense. Ooh, that was interesting. Alright. Depending on what the set card is probably a hair. Extra is in a very tough position. He managed to get out of it, though, with that DD... Or, he managed to stop the immediate loss with the DD Crow. And judging by the fact that he went for Beagle Tack... it was a hair, man. One of these is likely to be a morale attack. So he's got to be very careful. Interesting. We just gonna get to go to game 3? We do have the hair giving destruction protection. He could maybe try to pivot into a Yamato, but he has to have that in hand, which he clearly didn't, judging by the turtle and hair. So it'd have to be a top deck. Very interesting. Okay, pod duality is something. Well, the only real viable option here, I believe, is Tenki. Fusion Incarnation would be nice, but he got it off the pot of duality, so what can you do about that? Okay, so he's hoping to try to live a turn. It makes sense. The Tinky would be a little risky with all the spell and trap hate that we've seen Ultra Plant be running. That's a call. All right. Extra Plan is betting he can, or Extra Power is betting he can live with 4,800 life points. And it looks like he's going to be able to. If he had anything, he'd have to do it on Extra Power's turn. This is a rough spot for Ultra Plant. Well, not super, but it's not ideal. Okay. Let's see this go in. Fusion Incarnation right off the bat. I'm going to get the hair and the turtle. Hair turtle. The OGs have come back. Fusion Incarnation is one of the most powerful comeback tools in the deck. It summons back one of your banished and one of your graveyards for an immediate XYZ play. Genuinely, it makes Fusions a lot harder to put down than it should. Torrential. Alright. I believe Extra Power has a response for that. Alright. Oh, I get it. Silent Honor Arc would protect itself, but Torrential now removes it too. Resetting the game state yet again. Very clever. Now all we have to see Extra Power do is establish a normal summon. This is a very surprisingly even game. Oh, Hirume. All right. It's going straight to battle phase, try to beat over. Interesting. And of course, we still have hair for the destruction protection. There's the Sanctum. Going to try to pop it. Now, it does get protected by hair. Though, what is his thoughts on Chalice? I see. So he had to trade off protecting hair or potentially using Chalice on something else. Alright. Ultra Plant is going to have to either make a rank 5 to try to remove Hirume, or he's going to have to play the battle phase game of chicken of whether or not there is a crane in hand or an honest to beat over whatever it is. Okay, how's Plant gonna hit? He's playing the game of chicken in the battle phase. Uh-oh. Although it appears extra power is either does not have crane, so he's just probably gonna protect it with our boy Hair. Or he could let Hirume die and rip that last card out of Ultra Plant's hand. That's what he's going to do. Very interesting. Does the new Bujin support fix the deck's main issue? A little bit, yeah. They definitely can now make a few more XYZ plays on their turn, or like going first. But modern Bujins are way too vulnerable to hand traps to be meta, and they're still just better as a stun deck. I did not expect Tinky to resolve here. That's pretty impressive. Oh, that's one. Both of these are like one hell of a top deck. He ripped the Sanctum out of hand too. I'm very confused why Ultra Plant didn't set that preemptively, knowing Hirume. Ripping the Sanctum is gigantic. Modern Bujins. Modern Bujins just... They're just too dated. They don't really... What made Bujins good is their ability to play around Yamato in old Yu-Gi-Oh! But that's definitely not a good modern strategy. The new support gives them more, like, special summons at very big risk. What decks are playing in this championship? Hat and Cat variants. Yugiohs are very big, and so are Mermels. Those are the three main ones. There are some other odd ones here or there, such as Bujins. But mostly it is those big three. Hair protects. Man. Hat format top deck, yeah. Like, it might seem like Ultra Plant's out of it, but a single Soul Charge brings them right back into it. Oh. A complete turnaround. It seems during deck building, yeah, Ultra Plant really was expecting to handle the other top meta decks. Definitely got a little sideswiped by Bujins here. It's not gonna work. Wait, really? Does Turtle not stop that? Does Mermel take target? No, it doesn't. Okay. Alright. That's a bro. What exactly is hat meaning-wise? So hat stands for the deck. Hands, artifact, trap tricks. Which is the combination of those three engines. And it's more or less what Ultra Plant is playing here. It's a deck or an engine that's really nuts. So the only two, like, for the longest time, the only two big like legacy formats that are popular is Goat format. Did you just tribute summon into Morale Attack? Why? I guess it makes you can't set it. Okay, but yeah, it's like Edison and Goat format. Hat format is one of the formats that's a bit newer, so it started being popular later, basically. For a good like for a new format to really be popular as a legacy format, it does have to take a bit. Guess what, G Chicken 3? What? But for legacy format to be popular, it has to be a bit. Like eventually Eternal format and maybe even like Despia format, they will be popular as legacy formats 5 or 10 years in the future. Especially with how, Yu-Gi-Oh is going to infinitely power creep. And Ultra Plant came back here somehow. Man. Called by. Oh. Dang. Alright. And Ultra Plant's going to have a very tough position to break a Bujin board going second. This is what Bujins live for. It is going first and being toxic. Of course, it depends on what side decks we see from Ultra Plant. He's probably going to be doing a bit to get rid of some of his, opponent's spell trap removal. The real question is going to be what Floodgates extra power puts into his deck, of course. If we look at the common side deck techs, Bujin feels similar to Constellar Talc Knights. A little bit, maybe like Modern Tellers, but Constellars are actually a deck we might see in this format. They are a play very similar to Chronomalies. They're trying to make rank 5s off of normal summons. But Bujins need to be very careful here. We might see Vanities showing up when he goes first. I know Vanities is a tough call that I've seen a lot of Bujin players stop running because it is very fragile. It just depends though. Alright. And here they are. They're starting off. Bujin's, of course, going to opt to go first. One of the only complaints this format gets is you still draw going first. And because it is a trap-heavy format, going first is almost always better. Of course, if you're playing one of the bigger decks this format, you are able to go first or second. But for a lot of the rogue decks, you really do want to go first. Constellar can use the Bujin Link 2. That Bujin Link 2 is one of the best cards. It's just unfortunate that it is generic support more than anything else. Kind of like how Verte Anaconda is technically a Predaplant card, but might as well not be. Or better yet, how Crystron Halki Fibrax is a Crystron card. I'll be honest, I didn't see what he added. Can someone tell me what was added? That's some mood. Tinky. Alright. Tinky's gonna resolve. Hirume. Okay. Hirume has been surprisingly big this game. Guess that's what a skilled player can do, though. Extra Power is deciding to play the long game and the safe game. Forcing Ultra Plant to be the one to react to him or be proactive. Moving in phase. Another Yamato setup turn. Ultra Plant can't go into battle. He can't target it. Or he can't destroy it, and he's soon not going to be able to target it. This is kind of big. I wonder what Ultra Plant's planning with the set 5 pass. Two hair. Alright. Ignition, popping the center, his own center spell. Beagle Tack, alright. We're about to see double Bujin hair work effectively. That's going to be nuts. Or maybe at least we'll go into a rank 5. A clean chalice during the end phase, shutting down any rank 5 shenanigans Ultra Plant would be doing. Double Summon is really good, or is surprisingly decent for modern Bujins. Classic Bujins don't need it and actively don't want to waste the space. You're trying to get to Yamato as fast as possible, since in 2014, Yamato is not only, a viable strategy, it's a very strong win con. What's funny about this state is Beagle Tack can't beat over Yamato. Yeah, we're just going to see a card D pass. Oh yeah. 2014 Bujins do not need double summon. Okay, what's Ultra Plant, or what's Extra Power going to do? Doing Grave, Crane in hand. He is just as likely to try to go for something as he is to pass here. And we are seeing a full commitment here. Or a commitment here. With Mikazuchi, Extra Power is going to be trying to search for a Bujin Incarnation later, or like at the end of his turn. Which would put Ultra Plant in a bit of a bind, because he'll have way more stuff to stop if Extra Power decides to go for something. Bottomless. Are we going to see the hair prevention? An extra power is weighing whether or not this is worth it. So we can protect Yamato against his other his other 2 set cards. We know this one, this middle one here, is a morale attack. So he only has 2 disruptions here. And he did let the disruption go through. Interesting. This is Tenki and not a continuous spell floodgate, but yes, they do usually use Kaiser Coliseum. Absolutely. Kaiser Coliseum is not an okay card. Like, actually. Crane for the Beagle attack is a very failed trade. Oh! Alright. We are seeing Bujin set a card. He hasn't done this a whole lot yet. And dump turtle from deck. 2 targeting, or 1 targeting protection, 2 destruction protection. Called by the grave. See the second attempted resolution of Beagle attack. How many? It doesn't target. Okay. And this is a really tight spot. Double morale attack. Oof. We're gonna eat through all of his hairs. Or not. Ooh. This is a big spot where it comes down to what his back row is. This board has kind of fallen apart for extra power really quickly. Ultra Plant's probably trying to figure out what the most efficient way towards game is. And also while playing around this 1 set card. The set card could definitely be a torrential. That is something Bujins are known for. Could be a Solemn, could be a Black Horn of Heaven. All of them are very likely possibilities. Very interesting. Boot Incarnation is not a quick play. It is a it's just a regular spell. Hold on. Yeah, Boot Incarnation is just a regular spell. I wonder what rank 5 he could be thinking about. We actually do have one of Ultra Plant's earlier lists for Artifact. Or for Cat. And it's Pleiades, Access to Pleiades. Keeper. Pleiades Keeper are probably his two options here. We'll see, though. This is a really interesting spot to be in. Because I think as much as Ultra Plant might want it, I don't think he has game here. He's just going to beat down. All right. Interesting. Is there a Zeus? Sorry, apparently I left a Zeus in the cat extra deck. I am sorry, everyone. Oof. All right, I was making these deck lists at 2 a.m. and it shows. I use a template, which is actually why it's still left in there. I made the templates for the tier list video so I could do those quicker. And I left one in. There's the Pleiades. Alright. Gonna bounce that. Oh, gonna bounce called. So he can set up a morale attack again. Very solid. We're probably gonna see a set 4. Man. Very strong position from Ultra Plant. Extra Power is still 100% in the game. Especially with this graveyard setup, turning off a lot of Ultra Plant's potential plays. Should just have hat format. Extra's in a bad position, but I think he can come back from it. Tinky. Alright. Tinky is going to resolve. You know, Ultra Plant has at least 2 disruptions in the Pleiades and the Call the Haunted he set, which can revive Morale Tech. Illusion Carnation. First big play here. Cyber Dragons are a thing in hat format. If you check earlier, we were watching in a casual game between Cyber Dragons and Lavables. It was really good. It should in this format. Cyber Dragons are played with artifacts, of course, to synergize on rank 5s. And there's a particular trap whose name I forgot that lets Cyber Dragons summon out a bunch of or level 5s at the same time for big plays. They can also wipe their own spell of traps to trigger artifact cards. It's really cool. Illusion Carnation is exactly what Extra Power needs to stop or to get back into the game against Ultra Plant. Crane Mizakashi. Very fair. Cyber Network, yes. Read Cyber Network if you want to understand how to play Cyber Dragons during hat format. Actually, a very recent... Oh, no. Does that make the entire thing whiff? The Transmigration Prophecy. That is a big side deck card there. Damn. That might be it for Extra Power. Oh, does he still summon the banished one? Let me check the ruling on this. I think you're. I think you're right. I think he does some of the. Let me check some rulings. There are none. Thank you. Thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes, Cybernetic Echo does special summon as many light monsters from Banish, but you lose your battle phase. Well, it loses the battle phase the turn you activate it, if I'm remembering correctly. So what you do is you do it on your opponent's turn, of course. Yeah, Artifact Ignition and a Double Cyclone. It's a really cool deck. There are people who play it in the hat format Discord. You can ask them about it and ask them to give you a deck list. I really recommend it. Adriu, okay, you think it fails to resolve because of both You might be right. Does it say specials on both targets? Yes. It would fizzle. Yeah. For reincarnation. It would fizzle. Interesting. Now, where are they going with this? Now, with Bujins, there's only one. Yep, Yamato. Or Suasanoa. The question is, can Suasanoa stick in the game? Or stick on the field? It appears like Ultra... Oh. Interesting. Oh, that would do it. I'm going to need to see either... Oh, alright. Both players are running Chain Whirlwind. This is a option I have never seen, like, ran. Cyber Dragon Nova is printed in this format. Yeah. It's a good option. Though actually, this might be before... Okay, the Cyber Dragon structure deck is out, yeah. Ooh. That was... Man. Chain Whirlwind, I believe, was ran. It just wasn't extremely popular. Like, it's not one of the cards you think about being a tech choice back then. I've seen more double Cyclones than I have Chain Whirlwinds. How is Extra Power going to find his way out of this one? Oh, we're going to see Harume play him. And... Oh, but he doesn't have targeting protection to stop Pleiades. That's a problem. We have not seen Pleiades' second effect yet. Dexter was never on the field from Blackhorn? Oh, you're right. Chain Whirlwind was not valid in Resolution. of the Blackhorn. That is a misplay. Wind. That's a big potential problem. They did... The way this would have to be ruled, since neither of them are calling it out, is it would resolve as is, because no one stopped it, and they have clearly progressed past the point in game. Oh, Bujin's narrowly lost there. The grindy power of Cat really showed off here. Man. Alright, let's see what other games are being played live right now. Does anyone have any replays of the other games we've seen? What year's Hat Format? Hat Format is 2014. Let's see, Samo Festino should be playing right now. Let's see if we can get into them. And there's another bot. Let me remove that real quick. Sorry, just a second while I find the next game to play. Does anyone have... Anyone on... I am a Bujin player. Yeah, I am a Bujin player. Okay, if there are no replays... Sorry, guys, I just gotta find the next thing. Let me, Go ahead and show off the cat deck list again. I'm looking in the unlimited section, which is actually where they do hat format stuff. It's just a bit awkward to find sometimes. Ah! Here we go. Here's a replay of another game in the tournament from Tiger Soldier. Tiger Soldier is one of my favorite players in this format. I'm not too sure what he's playing this event, but it should be pretty good. Okay. So we're seeing Cat versus Mermels. This is basically the most common matchup we'll get to see. Because as we play, we actually get to see what everyone has. This is a very back row heavy Mermel list, which is odd. But I don't think it'll be too much of a problem with how nuts his setup is. Curry Bandit is also an odd choice for hat format. I kind of get where he's going with this. What's the top one staple everyone played in hat format? So there's three options here. Mystical Space Typhoon, Soul Charge, or Upstock Goblin. It's one of the three cards. They are all played in just about every deck. The only deck that doesn't really play MST is the hat and its variants. because artifact trap tricks make use of both double cyclone and artifact ignition, which is better MSD. Breakthrough skill on the card D. Interesting. Double cyclone set up for the morale attack play later. Pretty good. All right. Very crazy setup for both of these guys. And we're going to see the Abyssal line. Ooh, we might see a rank 3. That's... No, we're just going to go to battle phase, beat over card D. Very understandable. Have a nice day. And Tiger Soldier is going to let that resolve. Interesting. I'm going to go to in phase here. Remember, the player's taking this very slowly. So one thing I've noticed about a lot of good players in this format is they will... Oh, get a bit of lag from Dueling Book. They will wait until they're absolutely certain they have game to combo off. It's a very slow testing format where you're trying to figure out what exactly your opponent has. That's an amazing hit. Fishing out the Torrential Tribute. Double Cyclone, going to be triggering on the in phase. And we're just going to completely eat away our opponent's plays, and we're going to be setting up for a rank 5 on our turn. Pretty nuts. Of course, though, that will set up Abyssal Line's effect, so I can fully set up the Mermel line of combo. Yeah, Hat is like one of the last major back row heavy formats. Back row would be good, but they wouldn't truly be back row formats as a whole. Like, even when Eldritch was meta, every deck wasn't, you know, playing 500 back row cards. Just the one or two decks that were good. Man. We're letting the Abyssal line live, which I think is a really good call, surprisingly. If he's actively playing around the Soul Charge. Which is... Oh, the Pleiades it back. What a play. Tiger Soldier is being a really good pilot of Cat right now. Genuinely impressed. And Curry Bandit's gonna get him to whatever extender he wants next. Probably Torrential. Is it Spell Trap? It is Spell Trap. Okay. Torrential Tribute, probably. I will be honest, though, these options aren't very good. Not sure how I feel about Curry Bandit in Cat. I feel like I'd rather run more engine pieces. He's going to add the pot of duality to set up. Wow. Critis guy is in a very bad spot. Like, actually terrible spot. Is he going to try to crash it, maybe? I think he's going to try to crash it, but Pleiades is just going to bounce that back. Man, he has the morale attack to play around Marksman. That's hilarious. Yeah, he's going to try to crash it. And there's the Pleiades bounce back. Man. And we're likely to see... Yep. There's the Abyss Spike being one of the best starters in the thing. He's going to set up Atlantean Heavy Infantry and search whatever he wants. Gen X Undying for a play for next turn. Popping Pleiades. A bigger issue here is he actually ran out of life to pay for Soul Charge. Tiger Soldier probably going to be adding back Trap Tricks from Mela. Have we already seen the Bottomless? We have not. Bottomless is gigantic in this matchup. Yeah, that'd be game against Mermels. Let's see if Mermels can get a better starting hand. It could be worse. We have Abyss Spike, which is a big setup thing. So honestly, not terrible. Wow. Okay, I stand by. We're not going to go into Abyss Spike? Is there something I'm not understanding about that? I guess using it preemptively. Those are mean rips. Honestly, go for the double DD Crow. That's hilarious. Dang. Wow. Probably gonna let that. One set card. What set card is he targeting? Yeah, I gathered he didn't want the waste to mark either, but I don't know. It's with Soul Charge in hand. I think you might want to just shotgun it a bit. No, this game was over when he has Maxi 2 DD Crow in hand. Man, what a blowout. An absolute blowout. So what Tiger Soldier should try to do here is just eat away at a Chris's life points so he can try to minimize soul charge. Or set up for another... Oh my god, bottomless trap hole. Wow, this game is just a slaughter. Oh my god. Double DD Crow, Maxi bottomless. There is nothing Mermels can do against this. Look, if we gave the Mermel player here like Lightning Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster, it doesn't save him. That's the thing. Oh my god, this is... I'm going... What are we going to send? Marksman. What's the trigger? No, it doesn't. Activate DD Crow. Honestly, I would have DD Crow'd the Abyss Spike. And he's trying to... Mermel's trying to stabilize. Not doing the worst job of it, but also not doing a great job either. Oh, we saw a misclick. It do be like that. Alucard, alright. Bottomless on Alucard. Yeah. Maxi making it not feasible to continue plays. And that Call the Haunted plus Solemn. Pretty nuts. Man. Mermels are probably going to end up having to use the Torrential Tribute to stall. Which sucks, but it is a play. Going straight to battle phase. Man. No normal summon Maxi for game. It is unironically the correct play, but there's no way Tiger Soldier should know that. Are we going to see the Solemn? I think we're going to see the Solemn. Man, absolutely brutal. 2 turns under Maxi into back row. What do you do about that? How do you have every... That is the question, yeah. Of course, that Solemn is probably going to be saved for the bigger issue. Abyss line... And we're basically stabilizing here. In fact, ignition. We're going to see the card... Or... Card D pass is not the answer. We need to wipe his board. But he's probably wanting to play around Abyssaline. Abyssalind. We are going to see the card D pass. See, the Torrential, I don't think actually helps him in the way he thinks it's going to. Yep, gotta get the summon. Chain Solemn. And now we have reduced the game to a top deck war with Tiger Soldier in favor. Although the cold was set earlier, wasn't it? It's game then. Oh, but he has DD Crow, so it's actually an out game. Ooh. The funny Max C for game has been deleted. Max C was correct. That is true. That is a top deck that gets him back into it. Straight into attack is a bit risky. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, there's only the other trap. None of his normals really get over it. Or they do get over it, but they don't get game over it. Artifact Ignition setup. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, Soul Charge top deck. Mean. Yeah, normal summon, I question that too. I get why he was doing it, just trying to push something. But no, the play was to set that and try literally anything else. Right. Let's see what other games we have. Soul Charge is not a fair card. You will learn that very quickly. But it's a fun card. So you kind of take what you can get. Okay, Samu Postino, have you guys started your game yet? No? Unfortunately, looking into it, most games that are still going to be played are probably going to be played tomorrow or later today. So we might just have to end the stream here, unfortunately. Going for quite a bit. Well, that was round one hat format. There are, of course, more games that will be played. Let me see if... Give me a second to pull up the brackets. Of course, there are still 4 more games that will be played in this round. We covered 4 of them. We covered 4 out of the 5 games that were played today. All these other games will be played for tomorrow to account for the differences in time zones. tomorrow, we will watch, not tomorrow, but when the next round is up in a couple of days, we will have another one of these streams to go over all the games we missed, as well as going into the game's next round. Hopefully all these players should save their replays. Oh, well, hold on. We have another game up. Wait a minute. Samu's live. Luckily, we don't have to call it off right now. Go back to the... Alright, well... Alright, we are jumping right into this game. It appears to be Sylvans versus an at variant. Sylvans appear to be popping off. We've seen both Double Lone Fire and Soul Charge. I do not know the level of this Princess Sprite, but things are about to keep going strong for Sylvans. But we've got a Called by the Haunted to try to live. Or we're just popping it. Fair enough. Is this game on? Does anyone know? I'll take us closest to the extra right. Wow. Okay, I'm going to see that big rank 8 play. Heretic Dragon, Sun Overlord of Heliopolis. He's probably going to do it for 1 to start eating his back row. This is game 2. Who got game 1? Samo won game 1. Alright, it's a pretty even game then. Ooh. That's huge. Heretic draw straight to game 3. After this, we'll go ahead and watch the replay of the first game so we can see what happened there. I don't know if I have a Sylvan deck list to show y'all. Let me see if I can pull one up from my website here. Oh. Going right into the game. Typically, siding takes a lot longer. Poderelli Cat is going first, which is a big advantage to who's going to end up winning this. Honestly, though, none of these are great ads. Deity Crow is probably the best option here. Yeah. Now, Sylvan's big problem here in this particular format is they're still kind of normal summon dependent. If you can stop the Curry Bandit or whatever they're using to start milling cards, you're in a good spot. Maxi off Lone Fire, that's huge. That's going to basically end the Sylvan player's turn, unless he thinks he can try to go for game. But seeing Hermitry instead of Lone Fire, Lone Fire, Lone Fire means he's playing defensively. So he's not going to be taking the Maxi challenge. Ooh, compulsing the Hermitry back to hand. Forbidden Lancing in response to the compulse. Alright, that's pretty clean. Forbidden Lance being one of the coolest tech cards this format. Although, unfortunately, we did see a whiff on the Hermitry skill. Well, we now get to see this round whether or not the cat will end up stuck in the tree. Though with Mermel, I think that's a pretty good sign Hat's in this. Being able to search bottomless trap hole is nuts. Okay. Depending on what the back row is. Artifact Ignition. Alright. Yeah, morale attack. I'm going to try to get rid of the Hermitry before it can use its effect. Very fair. Ah, but the DD Crow is going to attempt to stop it, but the Call of the Haunted is going to preempt the DD Crow. Very clever gameplay here. Unfortunately, though, that does... Oh, Sage Glow to follow up. Man, we are seeing an amazing back and forth here. I love Hermitry. I have the Sylvan core, you know, because I've been playing Sylvan since 2016. But I can't find my third copy of Hermitry, so it just feels awkward playing them. I adore Sylvans. Ooh, this is actually not looking great for Samsapu. Not if he just whiffs. That was a really bad whiff there. I don't want to buy just one card off TCG. I have to play shipping on it. And it's just annoying. I also have to learn Soul Charge Sylvan combos. Fun fact, I got into Sylvans after Soul Charge was limited. Because I make very good decisions as a player. Speaking of good decisions, I have a Mutant Core just sitting next to me. Being like, yeah, maybe one day it'll be halfway decent. Thanks, Konami. Sage Quo is a nuts card. Things are looking really good for Sylvans here. Especially if we just Milkoma Mushroom off top deck. Get rid of whatever disruption that was. Oh. That's rough, buddy. Like, if I'm buying cards off TCG Player, I'm buying way too many cards off TCG Player. That was a game. Man, Sylvans be nuts. Let's watch the replay for game one. I'm going to go ahead and save this so other people in Discord can watch it. Want to show both hands? I see now how this game went. Very nuts opening hand from Samsapu. Can't really out that. Oh yeah, so Sylvans actually have a really awful win rate in a revived hat format tournaments. It's not that Sylvans are a bad deck, it's just something usually goes terribly wrong for the person playing them. You know, terrible luck, the world's worst whiffs. So the fact that they did end up, pulling ahead in this is pretty impressive. Ooh, not a great hand for Sylvans going second here. Coma Mushroom set 1 is probably the best play. We've got Compulse to out that. I mean, we got Compulse to out Lone Fire. What can you do? We have a comment from the Victor. It helps when you draw Lone Fire for a minute. Or it helps you draw Lone Fire every game. Man. Yeah, I'd say so. Lone Fire enables so many stupid Sylvan combos. Going straight into Hermitry is dramatic. Sylvans have like a similar problem with the Noble Knights, where it's just like you can brick really hard, like insanely. Hand drops OP, yeah. If you can open Lone Fire Charge every game, you're just the best player ever. Lone Charge Heavy Slump. Do you play Heavy Slump? Can I check your deck? No, I cannot. Probably for the best. Ooh, Artifact Sanctum. I'm going to be preempting the Sylvan effect again. Oh, that's clever. Bomb versus Flo? I don't know what decks those are. Ooh, Sylvan Charity. All right. We were seeing a synchro build of Sylvans. We've seen the Spore. It's probably going back on top deck. Yeah. So Archfiend's Oath is a nuts card in this deck. Because of all the stacking we can do. You can add it to hand. It's one of the ways the decks can get to vanities. But it also is just a trigger for an Excavate. Oof! Oh. That's a fair play. Do we have anything good we go off into Spore with? Not really. Personally, if I have to call a card name, I would have called Cosmo Dark Destroyer. You never know. It could come up if you're cheating. The Maxi sealed this game. Unfortunately. What an unfortunate spot for Sylvans. And it appears he's going to try for game. Hermitry is about to get yeeted by Trap Hole Nightmare. Or just beat over, which is definitely correct. Honestly, I would compulse here. Yeah, that was double card D. But it's double Cyclone Morale attack, in which you can hit the Archfiend's Oath. See ya, Hat Alliance. Card D beatdown. We truly live in enlightened times. Oh, that's a play. I don't think it solves the issues, but... Yeah, preempt, or just start with the Sylvan Charity. See if we can fix this hand. Ooh. Okay. Now, how does this go wrong? That's what I'm worried about. What? Ah. Oh, doing it like that so we don't actually know what's on top. One of the reasons Sylvans are just awkward. We're going to start with Blaster. We're going to set up sending Hermitry to the grave so we can get it back with Miracle Fertilizer. Not super lucky, but it's not game ending yet. We just lose Archfiend. Sylvans just lose Archfiend Oath. Forbidden Dress would kill in hat format? Let's read it. I could spell. Oh, Forbidden Dress is a... Yeah, it's... It cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. It's actually a very common tech a lot of decks run. Bujins run it a fair bit. I know it's definitely seen in the side deck. Don't know why I blanked out on Forbidden Dress. Okay, we're going to see a rank 8. Or, sorry, level 8 Synchro. Which could go into a rank 8, but who knows. Stardust Dragon. Alright. Armatry's about to get probably... Oh, that would do it. Okay. Where'd this game go south? That's what I'm curious about. That's where. Yeah. Alright, and we've already seen game 2. So let's let me pull out the next game. This is the replay of the last game we missed. All right, let's see what we get. Wow, those spam bots never go away. This is the scuff deck I heard about. This is Hat Feet Majesty's Fiend. It is the most cursed thing I've ever seen. Like, actually. Like, actually cursed deck. We're about to see a turn 1, rank 5, or turn 2, rank 5 play. So what you can do is you could just use... You just do standard, artifact plays. This is not Ghost Trick Artifact. I wish it was. This is I've heard... I saw the name of this... Before the event started, I was given a name of what the decks do. And this one I was kind of terrified of. Unfortunately, I know it does not play Ghost Tricks, even though it should. I don't know if that was a worth it breakthrough skill. Well, no, he has mind control, so yeah, that is. I like all the at names. You got Hat, which is hands artifact trap tricks. You got Cat, card D artifact trap tricks. You got Fat, which is Fire Fist artifact trap tricks. Oh my god, can we play Gat? Yugioh artifact trap tricks. That sounds objectively terrible, but it has a funny name. Pleiades is about to get mind controlled. Oh, he's in a really good spot, actually. TG to Gat. Okay, we're going to see. He's probably going to try to push it here. I would have used mind control to get rid of this back row. He's about to be in a bit of a trouble spot here. Okay, we're going to go for that. Molson's clearly just waiting for XYZ play so he can delete it. I think what we're likely to see is Soul Charge in the Majesty's Fiend. I think it's time. Or that too. What? Okay, we're just playing this very safe. The number one thing I've said it before, but the number one thing I've learned about playing games, like in hat format, is being way more slow and reserved is often the better play. As a modern Yu-Gi-Oh player, I just kind of, you come to the conclusion that you just kind of have to shotgun it, because if you don't, the game's probably going to end anyway. Compulse, back your own. Okay. Honestly, I just as soon... Let's analyze that. So if you hit Mermel, you get to search another trap hole. But Yugioh Armor gets to reset himself for more searches. If you bounce Yugioh Armor, you lose out the additional trap hole. But you get... Well, actually it's the same either way. What am I kidding? Interesting. And here's the play. Man, Majesty's Fiend really ain't doing anything, but it doesn't matter because Pleiades is broken. Can't we have them? Okay, call the Haunted. Enabling my attack again. Pretty good. Personally, I would have detached people. It doesn't. As soon as he tries to do anything else, he's getting the deleted. Soul Charge. Oh no, that plays right in the bottomless. I don't think someone thought this through. I'm gonna pop a spell trap. I see. If he picks wrong here, rest in peace. He picked correctly. Okay, now we're gonna get to see a rank 4. No, we're not. Alright. Interesting. And we see the side deck trap hate come into play. But we see Molson drawing into no spell and traps. Oh, so this is a pretty good Yugioh hand. Ooh. The acid trap hole. Of course, who needs acid trap hole when you have Solemn Warning, right? Oh, deep prison is an option. Nope. Uh-oh. He misclicked. Oh, no. Oh, that's a terrible misclick. Luckily, he doesn't know about the wiretap. Now we're seeing the big prep for the double Cyclone play. Man. Yugioh Armor on the Yugioh Gear on the in phase. Yugioh Gear on the in phase is still a terrifying play. It never stopped being nuts. Oh, but wiretap doesn't stop that. No floodgate seems like the way for future Yu-Gi-Oh to prosper. I don't know. I think it depends on the floodgate. I think they need to be more fair about floodgate design and create floodgates that actually have counterplay. Which is something they don't do, because most floodgates that have counterplay just aren't ran. If I had to describe... Less like Imperial Order, and more like El Shadal Winda, you know? Although, Winda is still a bit of a problem. Oh, they appear to have gone into the classic Hat top deck war. Hat is clear... Or, sorry, it's Majesty's Fiend Artifact Trapchick, so it's Matt. Mystic Combine does not have real counterplay in a lot of the decks that abuse it. I like Mystic Mine as a card because it's a really good like going second tool, but it's also very toxic in the decks that like to abuse it. Like, play against Mystic Mine stun once and you go, this is the worst of like game design for Yu-Gi-Oh! But you play like as a going second tool in something like tier limit, like you're playing against tier limits, slap down that Mystic Mine. I also agree that people should have planes against Mystic Mine. Taking it nice and slowly, trying to build... Yu-Gi-Oh's trying to build back up its, game state after kind of getting ran through. The question is, who builds back up faster? And honestly, kind of even. There are 2 Black Horns of Heaven set. No one's getting anything done. And here is the first one that's about to get negated. Mystic Mind self-destruction is so hard to get to. Like, in a lot of decks that can abuse it have ways to get rid of their own monsters. Like, if both players have no monsters, Mystic Mind does not destroy it, or it's if what is it? If you have more monsters than your opponent, Mystic Mind doesn't destroy itself. Which is, I have to remember how it's worded. It's been a while. I've kind of blocked Mystic Mind out of my brain because I don't have to think about it now that it's banned. Yeah, both players control the same number of monsters. So, like, worst comes to worst, you can just delete your entire board when they can't really get rid of one of their monsters, and you're just stuck in Mystic Hell. Second gear during the end phase. This is a very grindy game here. Another reason Mystic Mine is really good is that a lot of the meta decks played Spell and Trap Disruption, not Monster Disruption, so they could even play under their own Mystic Mine if they needed to. Silent Honor Arc, eat Beagle Tech? Alright, based. And we are seeing Gear-Gives do what Gear-Gives do best. Pop off. What if Dionysia was bad? I don't think that's a what-if question sometimes. Oh, Accelerator plays. We have the second one. I kind of figured we'd just go for it here. Decrease the power of a potential soul charge. right. Oh, we're playing around the torrential. Very smart plays from Air Falco. No, we're not playing around the torrential tribute. Uh-oh. He does get a card back, at least. Well, anyone still gets rank 4. Okay, we're going back to the square 0. Classic Mirror Force. I think this is like one of the last formats where you could run just regular Mirror Force and it was valid. Yep. And El Falco won through genuinely good plays. That was actually amazing. Now let's see who gets it. Hat is going to go first, which is devastating for a lot of decks. And with the 3 disruption inboard he's putting out here. Or 2 disruptions in card D. We are going to... Okay, yeah. Artifact rank 5 play. Need 15, and then... Ooh, we're not going to let him do that, though. Mirror Force is not solid in most Barrier Stature decks, because most Barrier Statues like to use one of the upgraded Mirror Forces. I see Burning a lot, because, you know, it does burn damage. Or they just prefer to use, like, a... You know, a better trap, like Torrential Tribute, since it's at 3. Or, you know, even Runics. I think... I'm trying to remember where, but I think a lot of the anti-meta decks are now using Runics, because, you know, you can. Rest in peace, Moralitech. You went to jail. Man, No Mana Crossout is a rude card when it comes up. That wiretap, I believe, is ending whatever we got here. No. No, you're gonna get cross-outed. Oh, we actually got to see the Morello search Acid Trap Hole. Like, still something Trap Tricks are really good at today is side decking in trap cards. Like, side decking in trap cards and then searching them out, you know, to just delete matchups. Alright, we're going to see a Yugioh Arsenal play here. No, we're not. Oh, that's pretty good double Cyclone play. Artifact Ignition in the Cyclone. I just see it take backsies. I did. It's okay, I do that too. I'm going to see a double Cyclone play later. Yeah, this game is brutal. It's not quite as brutal as the anti-Mermel game, but man. No. It's his only hope. Stop, he's already dead. No, 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 no. He's dead. Oh. Oh, no. That was disgusting. Oh. Well, that is actually, I think, the last game we have so far. I'll see you guys in a couple of days live stream. Might have another video out before then. Who knows? Thank you all for watching. This has been round 1 of the Hat Format 2022 Championships.